So Donald Trump and Joe Biden will be going head-to-head in a televised debate next month. What about RFK Jr.? How's his campaign going?
Well, it's going pretty well from what I can tell. He's still trying to get on the ballot in all 50 states. Now, the reason, Gabriella, that candidates spend millions and millions of dollars is for name recognition, okay? When Robert Kennedy Jr. Is running for president and you see his name on the ballot, you don't have to ask yourself anything. He's Robert Kennedy's son. Everyone knows what he stands for. That is, he stands for an independent run for the White House, and I think he's going to get a lot of votes. And a lot of mainstream in America say that he's going to take votes away from Trump as well as from Biden. I don't believe a word of that. Nobody who's going to vote for Robert Kennedy Jr. was going to vote for Trump anyway. So I think he's going to take the votes from Biden. Now, with the troubles that President Biden is having with his progressive left, with these arrest warrants and things like that, his support has collapsed everywhere. And so Robert Kennedy Jr.'s run for the White House, I think, is the final nail in the president's political coffin.
Former US President Donald Trump and Melania attended their son Barron's graduation in West Palm Beach, Florida. The 18-year-old ceremony was a proud moment for the parents as they cheered from the stands, but also Donald Trump has revealed that, well, he says it's very cute that his youngest child, Barron Trump, has joined his older siblings and officially entered politics. At just 18 years old, Barron Trump is set to make his political debut as a Florida delegate to the Republican National Convention in July. Joe, what do you make of this, of Barron entering politics?
Well, being a delegate, of course, is sort of like a freebie ticket to go to the convention in Milwaukee, and they tend to be captain's choices. You know, all these delegates, they're not exactly an election for them. They're the appointee of mayors and senators and recommendations of congressmen and the like. Now, he will be there. The fact that he will be there, I think, is very interesting because Trump has done a great deal in the last couple of years to insulate his son from politics, from the rough and tumble of politics, and to allow him to be sent to the convention to cast a vote, I think is very interesting. I don't think Barron Trump's son has a big future in politics. You know, he reminds me a little bit of Henry Ford's grandson, Edsel, which was the biggest, lemon the Ford motor industry ever built, was the Edsel. You know, it looks good. Few people might have bought it in the beginning, but, you know, at the end of it, doesn't have a lot of cachet. I think Donald Trump is not the beginning of a dynasty. I think Donald Trump is a sort of an aberration. He was a very interesting character who came along at a very interesting time. And keep in mind, your viewers should keep in mind, if Donald Trump wins the election, he's already a lame duck. That is, he's only entitled to one more term of office. He is constricted or constrained by the American Constitution. He could serve it in jail, of course, but he can't run more than once. So in a sense, when he enters office, people who deal with him and just might try to buy time to get rid of him again. So the American presidential process has turned out to be a year-round sort of festival. And I think the president's kids in this is very, but, you know, I would have looked for his daughters, you know. They seem to have a little more political clout than Barron does. But Barron doesn't strike me as a natural in American politics. I think it's interesting. It's good to see that his kid wants to get involved in his father's career, but I'm not holding out much of a future for him.
Let's listen now to what Donald Trump had to say.
To me, that's very cute because he's a very young guy, and he's graduating from high school this year. He's a very good student, very smart. And I think that's great. I think it's very interesting, too. But he's pretty young, I will say. He's 17. But if they can do that, I'm all for it. I think I'm all for it. And he probably would be, knowing him, he would probably be for it, too.
Joe, before I let you go, what do you make of that? It's probably too early to say whether or not Barron Trump, will be the next, well, not obviously the next, but will be the president one day.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've had a nice long life with some really interesting children. And that conversation suggests to me that Melania had the last say here. I think, listening to that, you get the impression that Trump would like him to stay away. But I think Melania said the kid's going to the conference whether you like it or not. So Trump sort of danced around the decision, but I think Melania was all in on that one.